Okay, boxing fans, right now I'm just talking about Chris Arreola versus Bermane Stiverne. Starting with Arreola, we are looking at a guy with 35 wins, 30 of which by way of knockout, to 2 defeats, only 1 by way of stoppage. Against Bermane Stiverne, 22 wins, 20 of which by way of knockout, to a single defeat by way of knockout, and there's also a draw in there somewhere too. This is going to be a very explosive fight. This will be a very good fight, and probably the best fight that the Americas can really throw at us right now. I think this is a really good fight. I'm telling you, I'm going to watch this one. This is brilliant. I advise anyone who still likes the heavyweight division to watch this one. And I'm going to tell you why and who's going to win right now. Bermane Stiverne will win this fight by way of knockout. No doubt in my mind. I can see it happen in my mind. Right, I look at the advantages. And the first thing that I'm going to point out is you look at the power. On paper, it looks like Arreola is the power puncher in this fight, but he's not. It's definitely Stiverne, okay? He's got a very sharp jab, which is a weapon in itself. And he works off the jab to devastating effect if you watch any of his fights. You know, he's got natural finishing instinct and a great ability for putting his punches together, right? When he gets an opponent's hurt, he can take them out by just putting a few nice accurate shots together right on the button, and he knocks his opponents unconscious. You know, like they don't make the count. That type of unconscious. Yeah? Not the referee stops them type of unconscious, which is like the Chris Arreola type, okay? He's knocking these guys clean out. He's quite accurate. He's got a great variety of shots he can throw too. And on the opposite hand of the ring, you look at Chris Arreola, who's got okay power, but he's more of a combination puncher. And he says this himself. He's not got that one-shot punch power. Yeah? He comes forward. He's a pressure fighter style at the heavyweight division, which is quite decent to look at. He brings relentlessness. He's sometimes tries to run straight through his opponents, which I don't like. I'm not a big fan of that. And it's obviously when he's faced good opposition, it's not worked. It's definitely not worked. He does like his 1-2 straight down the middle a bit too much for my liking because, you know, he repeats it without variation and it could be easy to read. But overall, you look at Stiverne and his knocking out is just total like unconscious knockouts. You gotta like this guy. You've got to like this guy. Looking at the boxing ability, and I give that slightly to Stiverne. You know, he's not an all-action type of fighter like his record suggests. He can box. He likes to fire off the jab to both head and body. He probes for openings. He takes his time. He fires off that nice jab, and he can work off it. He can also counterpunch on the back foot, like he did in the Kirsten Manswell fight, where he was actually on the back foot. Once Manswell made a mistake, he pounced and he landed a good backhand. That was really nice. He's a very well-rounded and powerful boxer. I like it. You know, Chris Arreola, he's got some decent boxing ability. He can fire off a jab. He tries to work off it. He likes his 1-2 straight down the middle, but he's also able to rough his opponents up on the middle distance and slightly on the inside. He's got good speed, you know, for the heavyweight, which is very good, but that's to be expected because realistically, if he lost a lot of weight, I could say he could have a battling chance to make cruiserweight. I mean, this guy's not David Hayes type, type of like physique. This guy's more of a very well, very well promoted John McDermott type character. He's got the tools, he's got the will and heart to succeed. He's just not got the physique. He's not got the body beautiful. And half of the thing about boxing nowadays is not just about your promoting, but it's your image and what type of tickets you can sell and how well you can be promoted. And does anyone want to see a fat guy as world heavyweight champion? I don't know. It's up to you guys. I don't know. Looking at the defense, lastly, and I like Stiverne. This is where the fight would be won and lost. You know, Stiverne does have good head movement for a heavyweight. He likes to add in a few feints to trick in his opponents. He's also got decent reflexes for the heavyweight, and like I said, he counters off his feints and the reflexes, and it can add some real problems for his opposition, like people like Chris Arreola, who make a lot of mistakes defensively too. You know, you look at Arreola, and he has graduated from the Ricky Hatton school of slipping shots. In other words, he doesn't try and slip any shots sometimes, and this is going to be where he will lose the fight for me. sooner or later his chin will crack because it is his last line of defense, and he's fighting a guy who's too explosive, too much of a one punch, power puncher to have a leaky defense. He's going to leave himself open, and I think that sooner or later he's going to be blinded by one of those snapping shots, snapping jabs, and he'll eat a backhand shot from Stiverne, who will put him down. And I don't know if he'll make the count. He's got good heart, so he probably will make the count and be stopped on his feet. Also, just something else to add in. How is his, body performance, Chris Arreola? You've got to look at this. This is the year 2012. It's not just the boxing ability that comes into it. It's how well your body works. And not everyone's going to agree with me here, but Chris Arreola worked best when he was at 250 pounds. His fight with Adamek was close. He lost that fight, but after that he lost 20 pounds and has put 15 pounds back on. Yeah? All this yo-yoing with his diet will not help. It will not help his stamina. It will not help his chin. It will not help his speed. It will not help his power. And in fact, it will not help his whole body performance. Not to mention, if you look at his last fight against Molina, he got rocked by a guy who was a cruiserweight, in actual fact. A fleshy cruiserweight rocked him, and if the guy was smarter, he could have probably seen out that round and probably won that round and survived that round. The only thing is, he went in to try and go for the kill, and Arreola was too experienced and took the guy clean out. Also, another thing that you might want to know is this guy admits to, eating shit and drinking alcohol when he's in training. Now, booze, if you didn't know, decreases your protein synthesis by 75%. So that means if you go to the gym and then you go out on the piss afterwards, you ache more the next day than on normal gym days because your protein synthesis, that's rebuilding your muscles, is 75% lower. That's not going to help him in this fight either if he's had any drinks in training or after he's been in training. It's just something I think you should all look at. This guy's got great heart. He's got a warrior spirit. He's got undeniable talent, yeah, but he just does not have the dedication to the sport and the fitness that he'll need to win major titles. And I think he's going to get knocked out in this fight. Tell me what you think about this fight.